Hello everyone, welcome to Curriculum Night. I am Miss Bradley. I am teaching your students geometry class. Just an overview of geometry. Your students will be covering, last unit they did transformations in the coordinate plane. This unit we're working on similarity, congruence, and proofs. And then in the future, we're going to be talking about right triangle trigonometry, circles and volume, geometric and algebraic connections, and applications of probability. So that's just a general overview of what geometry is going to look like in this class. A bit about me is my educational background. I recently graduated last year from KSU with a bachelor's in math education. My teaching experience, this is my first year teaching, but I do have 3 years experience in the classroom with kids, and I did do my senior year, my student teaching was here at Alpharetta, so I do have experience teaching in this community as well. Fun facts about myself, I have a dog named Doodle and a cat named Snickers, and I also grew up in the area. I did not go to Alpharetta High School. I did go to Northview though, which is a little bit down the road. If you ever need to contact me, you can use my email, bradleys4@fultonschools.org. If you want to do a phone conference, email me at that email address and we can set up a time for me to call you for us to talk about whatever we need to talk about. Also, a lot of information you can find on my website. So if you want to find the course syllabus or recovery information or the calendar, you can find that on my website. On my website, it's divided by classes. So you'll see geometry. If you click on geometry, you'll see syllabus and calendar. If you actually click on the geometry name, it'll take you to important documents like recovery information. Also on my website, you can find, I did a technology help page, so if your student's having trouble working Teams or OneNote, I have basic help in that on my website and my bio with my email on there. Course expectations. So the way URL divides up grading is formative or the asynchronous assignments that I assign to the students are worth 0%. Where their grade comes from in URL is summative, which is 80%, and that would be like your quizzes and your tests, and then the final exam, which is 20%. For the summative category, quizzes and tests have different weights. Quizzes have a weight of 1, tests have a weight of 2. That means the test is worth twice as much in the grade book as a quiz does. For the final exam, most students will be able to exempt that if they finished all their summative assignments and they're passing the course. They'll be able to exempt that final exam. Just some general course expectations. We give them practice almost every day, the asynchronous work, and we check it. I usually try to check it every single day. If not, 2 days is the max I usually take to check that work. After every 5 assignments, so after every week, I put in a grade for their week's worth of work. So every day is worth 20%. If they did the work for 3 days, they'd get a 60 in the grade book. If they did the whole 5 days worth of work, they get 100. You should already be able to see an Infinite Campus week 2 and 3 and possibly even 4 at this point. Next, tests and quizzes generally are given every 1 to 2 weeks. All tests and quiz dates will be on the calendar, and I weekly update that calendar. So you should be able to see it on Teams, your students should be able to see it on OneNote, and you can also access that by my website. Some things that could really hurt your students in my class and kind of hurt their ability to be successful. Excessive absences, they need to be here every day, and lack of completing all practice assignments or asynchronous assignments for URL. So how you can support your student with these two things is just go on Infinite Campus. Do they have absences or a lot of absences? If they do, make sure your student's showing up to class. And have they completed all the work? Is there 100% in those formative categories for week 2, week 3, week 4? If there's not, then see what's going on with that. And if you need to, get in touch with me and we can talk about how we can best support your student to get their work done. We do have recovery opportunities. So for the quiz, our recovery is a little bit different from our test recovery. For quiz recovery, students have to request recovery for their quiz. And then when test comes around, if they scored higher on the test than the quiz, I will average those two and replace their quiz grade with that average. If they don't tell me they want to do recovery, I will not be doing this. So make sure if your student has said something like, oh, I'm going to recover this test, make sure you know that they emailed me, or else I'm not going to change that grade. Test recovery is kind of a process, so they can do it up to 3 times. The first time they have to finish all their asynchronous assignments, and then it's going to be test corrections, and they need to attend a help session. They can earn up to 50% of the points they lost back the first time they do the recovery assignment. So I will grade that if they meet all those requirements. If they still aren't at a 70, they can do it again. But at this point, they're going to take another assessment that's similar to the test but different. And they can only get up to a 70% instead of half the points back. When they're doing the second round, they're going to have to email you and me so that I know that you're aware that they're doing this. They need to attend a help session, and they need to complete the assessment, the recovery assessment. If they still don't have a 70 up to that point, they're going to have to email me, and we're going to have to work together to see how they need to make up the work so that they can show mastery in the subject. Okay, if you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me with my email, or specifically for just about the class in general. I opened up this form for you guys to submit your questions, and I'll get back to you on those questions. I look forward to teaching your students this year and from hearing from you. Have a great day, guys.